Unmute Zoom. I'll call the Pownell DRB meeting to order. This 19th day of April, 2023 at 7 p.m. Board member roll call, approval of agenda, public hearing, permit application, permit number 23-007. Robert Volpe has submitted an application seeking approval for a subdivision located on 1139 Carpenter Hill Road West in Pownell, Vermont. We'll have the participants that are going to testify give an oath. We'll have public comment and we'll adjourn. Accept the motion.
I'd make the motion.
Second.
I'll second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Roll call. Carl Strohmeyer, aye.
Cindy Legg, aye.
Nobody on there. Okay. John Bashy, aye.
And Cody Gardner, aye.
Matt Gardner, aye. Public hearing. Those of you that are going to speak, I need you to take an oath. So who's going to speak? Who's going to present the permit?
I am Joe Gantz and I'm just the neighbor next door, so I'm tuning in. I don't think I need to speak. If people want to ask me any questions, I'm willing to speak, but I'm the neighbor who's right next to the property. I was invited to listen and so I'm here.
Monique's trying to talk. I just asked her to unmute.
Is she muted? Are you muted?
I just asked her to unmute.
There it is.
Okay, there we go. Hi there.
Hey.
Robert called me. He's having some difficulty maybe from his cell phone. He's traveling. So he did send in a message, hopefully to Hannah to say that. And if I need to speak on his behalf and for the estate, I'm happy to. I'm the real estate agent, Monique Waite, Deerfield Valley Real Estate. I brought the paperwork over for Hannah for the meeting.
Are you familiar with the documents and any questions we'll have concerning the subdivision, the survey, and things along those lines?
I hope I will be able to answer questions, yes.
What's the board's feeling without a representative for the permit?
It might be,
Oh, wait a second. We got somebody right there.
That's not Robert. Robert's trying to join on two different devices, it looks like.
Okay, then
I don't think
we'll,
he can hear us on either of them.
Okay.
let's just go with it and,
See, I guess we could entertain it and
Yeah,
see what happens.
Okay.
yeah, if they don't have a,
If we can't get the right answers, we'll have to,
yeah, okay.
but we can give this a fair shot.
Give it a go.
Right,
Do
so
we need his?
if we're gonna have input from Monique, we should have her,
yes.
I should swear her in. Okay, Monique, can you raise your right hand?
Absolutely,
Do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
yes.
Okay. So we'll proceed with the hearing. You've all had a chance to go over the permit. Questions? Anything you need Monique to clarify? Any concerns? What do we got going?
No.
All comfortable with everything that's. Can you give us an overview, Monique, of what's going on as far as the permit and what Mr. Volpe is asking us to do?
Sure. So the estate, Franklin Lewis's estate, they're selling off the properties that the estate owns. So I was contacted to list the properties and get them on the market, which we did. And the decision was made by the estate to sell the property into two parcels split by the road. My understanding has always been that the road is a natural subdivision of the property and does not require a permit through the state but through the town. There are no boundary line changes of any kind. So what we did was, hopefully to make it as simple as possible, was all the land on the north side of the roadway would be one parcel, and the south side of the roadway would be another parcel. So they hired Mance Engineering surveyors who surveyed the property, and you have a copy of the survey plot that he did, which I believe, my understanding, has been recorded with the town of Pownell. And in his survey, there was, if you look at that parcel on the south side of the road, you have parcel 1B, which is 5.03 acre. And then you have parcel 2, which is a smaller piece of 2.19. The estate, the children of Frank Lewis, have decided they want to keep that 2.19 acres in the estate for the children. They want to decide in the future what they might do with it. Soils testing was done on the 5-acre parcel by Mance Engineering, and that is ready to get a septic design done, subject to approval by your board to subdivide these parcels. Once we know that that's not a problem for the subdivision, they would have a septic design drawn up and sent to the state of Vermont for a wastewater permit. And once they get ready with the wastewater permit, they would apply to the town of Pownell for a building permit on that parcel. But the other smaller parcel, the 2-acre parcel, the children of the estate will determine later on down the road what they're doing with that parcel, if anything.
And then there's the third parcel above the road.
Right, so across the road, everything on the north side of the roadway will all stay as one large parcel.
Will
And
that
that's a-
remain,
Pardon?
will that remain in Frank's estate, or is that going to Mr. Volpe?
No, it actually, it's under contract to sell.
Okay, so that's going to be sold off as well.
Yes, sold off as one part. We're selling it as one parcel. What the folks decide to do with that parcel, they'll need to come in and see the town of Pownell on what they decide to do with developing that. But my understanding is they're only going to build one house there.
That's the parcel that borders Mr. Gantz.
Yes, yes.
Okay, that provided some clarity as to where we are and what's happening. So with that information, any concerns from the board?
I just have I have a couple quick questions. Just curious, the maps that we got showing that there's look like two subdivided lots down here. They have drawings for it. And the second parcel, the kid's parcel, was done up too at the same time.
Yes.
Is that something that, I mean, if it's going as one lot down there, or is this?
No, that's
one lot, is that side?
That's actually the 7 acres on the south side is what we're actually subdividing, John.
John, you see
Right.
this? This is what we're talking about right here.
Yes, it's just that side.
Yes. The road naturally subdivides the other.
Okay.
And what we're here, the permit is to subdivide the 7 acres, the original house site of Lulu's, original house site.
Yeah.
And the kids, the estate will retain the 2.19 acres.
That's correct. And the old house site, the old farmhouse site, that has a drilled well on there. Yeah,
Now,
and
is
that's
that-
on the state well registry. That's, recorded in the state of Vermont well registry. There's information on that online.
Does that also have the shallow well on it?
I don't know about a shallow well on it.
There was reference in one of the that on Suites?
Oh, on his,
Yeah. What's on Sweets?
Okay, the shallow wells on Suites, okay, the
Yeah.
other, the neighbor to
Yeah.
the south, okay.
yeah.
Do you know if that meets the setbacks between where the distance from a well to the septic system? Does that
Yes,
meet the
yes.
full setback?
Yep. And that's all engineered. That's all Mance Engineering, and he checked all of that. So he has sent a letter to the folks looking to buy that, and he's ready to draw up the septic design. And of course, that gets scrutinized by the state of Vermont under the wastewater permit.
So, in the future, will that 2 acre be able to be built on with all the setbacks from the 5 acre?
Yes, the Mance Engineering does believe so. The soils are very good there. He
Oh.
he
I
did not
didn't
see
see
any
this.
problems with being a building lot there.
Okay,
Yeah. On a 2 acre parcel, he did not see any issues with building there. But again, they would apply for, once they would get the soil testing on that property and apply for a wastewater permit. But the estate, Robert Volpe is not, we're not doing any of that stuff. That would be on the kids in the future as to what they want to do with it.
On the smaller parcel.
Correct.
Yes, yeah, of course.
Yeah.
Would Robert Volpe, do you know if he plans to build on the existing foundation, or is he just strictly purchasing the land?
He's
or-
not, oh, pardon, I'll clarify that. Robert works for the estate, for the sellers. So he's the person that originally contacted me to work on, as a real estate agent office to handle the property. So he's not the purchaser. We have other folks purchasing the property.
He's working as agent for the estate.
Yes, yes.
Okay.
Interesting.
So the buyers, this is only the subdivision that we're talking about. The buyers, once they own the property, will come before the town of Pownell to obtain their building permit and work through the process like anyone would on a land purchase.
Okay. That's interesting.
And I think the, from what I saw there, the old farmhouse sat close to the road. So if somebody's gonna build there now, they'll meet the new setbacks that you all have.
Is there any public comment that is to be registered?
Gentlemen, do you guys have any comments?
Well, I'm wondering, who it is, and I would love it if each person, the two folks involved made a single house on the property, rather than have it, become more houses, because it's, there's a river that goes right through that area. I don't know if you call it a river, I guess you'd call it a stream. So that would be my hope, is that there's, in the property above me, which I guess is purchasing the property above me, and also the 20 some acres in what's, I guess, called parcel 1A. That person, it would be great if it was one house, and then it would be nice if the person who bought Luli's land builds one house, but I don't know that there's any rules against them making more houses, are there? I'm curious.
The small parcel, they can only do one, right?
The 2 acre
Because of that,
parcel.
yeah, well, I remember that on Brent's permit there. Yeah.
There are
Big one.
constricting circumstances with the 5 acre piece with the right of way that goes to Sweets, and there's a possibility that there could be extenuating circumstances where that would only qualify for one house. You know, we can't necessarily speak to that without further in-depth review of it, but at this point, it would easily qualify for one, and in theory, only one. The 20-acre parcel, RR2 calls for 2 acres, so could be a possibility of 10 there, Joe. So yeah, there's no restrictions. That's the hard part. Yeah, that's when, and as with your piece, as time continues and Sally's below you, there's any number of things that could happen with those larger tracks up in that, especially, you know, the view that you have out of there, it's quite appealing. So there's many things that could happen.
Okay, well, I'll just hope for the best and
Right.
see what
Right.
happens.
Yeah. He's got his hand up.
Yeah,
Up there he is.
Muted.
He's
Yeah.
muted now.
okay.
Yeah. Hi, I'm Peter Hassinger. I'm Sally's husband. Sally couldn't be here this evening. So I just wanted to clarify something for myself. So we're really just talking about, you've said this, right? That not 1A is not in this conversation. It's about 1B, which is a 5-acre parcel and a 2-acre parcel roughly. By agreeing to a subdivision of any part of all of Frank Lewis's estates, automatically validate the subdivisions of any other Lewis's estates, or they all have to be taken separately, depending on who wants to try and buy which parcel in terms of development? Are we opening the door to, you know, putting 10 houses up in a 20-acre plot in 1A by agreeing to a subdivision at 1B?
No, that would be an entirely different hearing.
Okay,
And that would trigger a major subdivision. And if you were talking that kind of subdivision, it would be a multi-plot permit and a application.
okay.
Which there's many other steps to go with that process. You would have stormwater runoffs, you would have concerns of traffic flow. That kind of subdivision would be a much larger undertaking and
More involved.
a very involved process, yes.
That road.
So if the purchasers of that want to put in a single family residence or house of some sort, that would be permitted under the standard application of a house permit.
Okay, I was just trying to get a sense of the scale.
Yeah, no, if that was all just, there's a possibility of it with the RR2 2-acre minimal lot size. I just to state that so you guys know, there is no, as you know, obviously there's no permit, there's no no initiative to do that I've heard.
I would say, just for the record, you know, I mean, I feel similarly to Joe that, I mean, a 2-acre lot, I would generally want to see less development because that stream below, and the concern is wastewater management, you know, because that does run through our property lower down. There's an area where it's possible to, you know, get in that water and cool off. And I would not want it to be inundated with sewage.
That's correct.
Yes, right. So I'm looking for less houses than more because of the stress it would put on, you know, the wastewater management situation. But that's a downstream, literally, concern based on what we're talking about tonight, right?
Right.
Okay.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. Tonight is merely. Okay.
Sorry?
Yeah. Tonight is just a subdivision of the southern section of the estate.
Yeah. That's off the map that I got, so I can't quite see it. I mean, I can see the Lully house, I guess, and the well.
Yeah, that's, okay, that's the parcel that is going to be sold.
Right.
Frank's, the kids are going to retain the 2.19 acres.
Right. And the 5 acre slot is TBD as far as what kind of development can be done there. And that's
That'll be like, yeah, that's basically just a single residence
right.
house slot.
Okay. All right. Thank you. That answers my question.
Thank you.
Do you have a number of, I know there is one, I just don't recall it off the top of my head, as to how many lots can be divided before it falls into the major subdivision?
Five.
What, is it 5?
Yep.
And
And-
positive on that.
Yeah, to be honest with you, basically one more subdivision of Frank's land will automatically trigger a major. So
Isn't it 5 lots or a certain number of subdivisions?
there's also a time frame involved.
Right.
5 years, I believe.
Okay.
Right, and it's, after it goes through a certain number of subdivisions, whether it's only 1 lot, I think it's 3 subdivisions triggers a major.
This is what happened with churches.
So I think the next subdivision, no matter who comes in,
It's gonna be a major.
triggers a major on all of this property.
This one we're discussing now.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, so if someone were to.
Next 5 years.
If someone were to come in and subdivide that the 5 acres into want to do it into 2 lots,
Or the 20.
or the 20 acres.
Yeah.
But unless I'm mistaken, the 20 acres is staying with the 136 acres. Is that right, Monique?
It's not 136 acres up there. It's only gonna be, I think it's about 74-ish acres on the north side of the road. And I can tell you from speaking, I'm the one that showed the property to these particular buyers on the north side of the street. My recollection of my showing them that property and discussing potential development there, if someone was going to possibly look at it, and that they would have to speak with the town, with Pownald about it, but they indicated to me that was not their intention. So I'm envisioning one house site on the property, on that north side of the street. And same thing on the south side of the street, on the 5 acre piece. It's one house site, and I believe, I didn't ask John right specifically about the soil testing, if another house could be put there, but that's not what we were doing. The
No,
buyers
just-
of that property are looking to build one single family home.
Is that 73 acres, Monique, including the 20-some acres, or is it 73 plus the 20-some?
All of it together on the north side is about 74, I think. I didn't calculate it out. You take all those little calculations. And I think it's like 74-ish acres.
Okay,
I know it was shy of 75.
And that encompasses the clear cut, and that's that portion of the property.
Pardon?
That encompasses the clear cut and that portion of the property.
It's everything on the north side of the road is about 74 acres.
Anything else?
I don't have anything else. No.
And if there's no further discussion, I guess we can entertain a motion.
I'll make a motion that we accept the subdivision,
Approve it.
approve it.
Yeah. Yep. I'll second the motion.
Any more discussion? Any more comments?
no? That's
That for me.
good for me.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposition? The permit has been approved.
Okay, so I have a question. Do you wait 30 days before that's official? Or is there a time frame?
Yeah, we have up to 30 days.
Okay,
But I'll approve it. I mean, the DRB spoke, so that's fine with me.
okay.
Yep.
That's fine.
Thank you. Thank you for your time. I appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you all for coming.
I think Joe has something to say, yeah.
I just wanted to say it's nice to meet you all. I haven't met you before.
Well, welcome back to town. You actually, you worked with my father way
You've
back.
actually met Matt and I, that's for sure.
Wait, who's your father?
Mike Gardner, Mickey.
Oh, Mickey.
Uh-huh, yeah.
Yeah. And we used to do we used to do Sally's Land.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, that was,
We first started farming. That's some of the land we did. We did Sally's and, we used your Porsche tractor a long time ago, Joe.
the Franz, who was farming below and was farming Sally in our property, he's kind of given up farming, so we're looking for someone to hay that again. If you,
Yeah.
I've got somebody for you, Joe, if you want. And by the way, I spoke to Franz and he's not 100% sure. He's not out completely. He still
yeah?
wants to redo the herd and he's gonna cut our grass this year, he said, so.
Okay.
FYI for offline, we can take it up offline. Since nobody else
Anyway,
wants to
it's
go home.
nice to meet you all, and
Alrighty.
we're going to be spending much more time in Vermont. My wife and I, we rented it for the past 40 years because I was working out here, but now I'm getting older and we're going to be spending about half the year in Vermont, so.
The warmer half, correct?
What's that?
The warmer half?
Well, for the most part, I'm not too good at the cold, but we're entertaining the idea of finding out what a winter is like there.
If you're not home, it's easy when the snow drifts up there.
You missed the good one.
Your driveway tends to be a bear.
Yes, very true. Very true.
Thank you,
Unfortunately.
everybody.
We'll dig you out.
Okay. I appreciate
you.
that.
Thank you.
All right, good
Okay.
night, everybody.
Take
Thank you.
care.
Thanks, guys.
Bye.
Bye-bye.